Hello and welcome to a new edition of Echo at Africa, brought to you by DW, Channels TV and KTN. I'm Nel Taigbe coming to you from Lagos, Nigeria.
And I'm Edith Kimani at the National Museums of Kenya. Together we bring you the latest exciting stories on environmental issues from Europe and Africa. Here's what we have lined up for you this week. We head for the Afin Mountains in Nigeria to check out an initiative aimed at saving the rare endangered drill monkey. And finally, we visit Lome, the capital of Togo, where a group of ambitious startups are working to make the city smarter. Keep watching.
We'll begin in southern Nigeria, where one monkey species is now more threatened than any other in Africa. According to conservation experts, there are only a few thousand drill monkeys left in the wild. Their habitats in Nigeria's forests have been largely destroyed, leaving the monkeys with nowhere to go. Adding to their plight, adult drill monkeys are now being poached. However, a nature preserve in the Afin Mountains has provided them some sanctuary. And in the last few years, a breeding program is helping the species to recover.
Gabu is not just any primate. He is a clan chief and by now good friends with Innocent Itaku. The zoologist has rescued over 600 drill monkeys and brought them to this center in southern Nigeria. Many of them were previously held captive as pets, others as orphans whose parents were hunted for bushmeat. Itaku is determined to stop them from dying out.
What I love basically among these animals is that they are unique and they are found only here. If we don't work passionately with these animals, then they will go extinct. And the possibility of these animals to go extinct, I think I would prefer to die than seeing these animals going extinct.
The habitat of the drills is shrinking. They are omnivores. They'll eat anything, including fruits like papaya, for example. Keeping them in food is hard work and costly. The Pandrilus Foundation that runs the drill ranch has to purchase tons of vegetables and fruits per week.
We lack funding here seriously, and the animals are eating. We have more than 600 animals. If everyone is eating, say, 100 naira a day, that's about 60,000 naira a day. And where is this funds coming from?
60,000 naira, that's almost 190 euros. Rescue center staff buy the food in a nearby village in part to help boost the villagers' income. That way, there's less likelihood they'll resort to illegally hunting the animals in the wild for their meat. The drill ranch couldn't survive without outside help. Volunteers come here from all over the world.
There's a breeding conservation program component. There's a component in working to educate the nearby communities, and you see that in every interaction with the staff, with the buying animal feed from the village, from having school children come and visit the project. Every single facet of what happens here is conservation in action, and that feels very rewarding.
New primates can only be integrated in the drill enclosures once they have been tested for disease. Here in the veterinary station, the ranch manager trains volunteers how to use tranquilizer darts in case they have to rescue a drill in the wild. Now it's time for him to brief his staff and volunteers. Most of the local staff used to hunt drills themselves. Now they carry out anti-poaching patrols. Innocent Itaku dreams of being able to release the animals into the wild someday soon.
The breeding program is very successful. The animals are healthy, they are very strong, and they are ready to go. So once we have support, then we are ready to take the animals straight to where they belong. They don't belong here. They belong to the wild, and that is their home.
But Chief Gabu and his clan wouldn't really be safe. There are only 3,000 drills left in the wild, and they are still being hunted. So for the moment at least, they seem better off on the drill ranch under the watchful eye of Innocent Itaku.
Now, the idea behind doing your bit today might not be new, but the fact of its simplicity and the fact that it's cheap makes this temperature bag quite unique. You're wondering, is this a temperature bag? I don't think so. Now, Muriwa Rubenzai has learned to produce an innovation that keeps the environment cleaner while cutting down on energy consumption. Now, let's see how this lady and her family in Zimbabwe are doing their bit for the environment.
Did you know you can save energy by cooking in a temperature bag? Styrofoam litter has become a huge problem worldwide. Cleanup is expensive, and once broken up into pieces, the plastic can clog the digestive systems of animals. Rumbitsia Nakabao in Zimbabwe has found a way to help: a temperature bag. It uses styrofoam granules as insulation. Rumbitsai produces the bags in her family business. Here's how it works. You cook your food for a few minutes, then put the pot in the bag. The temperature bag takes over until the food is ready, using the trapped heat. Depending on their size, the bags cost between $15 and $40 US. In the end, you save both money and energy. Enjoy.
Do you like that? If you are also doing your bit, tell us about it. Visit our website or send us a tweet. #DoingYourBit. We share your stories.
Now, Edith, you'll have to be taking a big climb with us to about 2,600 meters to be exact, just to find Germany's highest environmental research station.
Well, that's right, NT. Time to meet a famous German nature photographer. She staged a spectacular environmental performance in the Alps with a falconer. A golden eagle, no, none of these, will fly us over the alpine glaciers, at least over what's left of them. And there's no better way to document the beauty of the mountains.
A golden eagle's majestic view of a dwindling alpine glacier. The inspiration for an ambitious project. A first test flight is taking place near the peak of the Zugspitze at the Schneefernerhaus Environmental Research Station. Falconer Paul Klima and his falcon Bruno are taking it slowly.
We have to be patient, let everything here gradually sink in, and if we catch the right moment, then it usually goes well.
Nomi Baumgartel is a nature photographer.
The eagle is lord of the sky here in the Alps. He's king of the mountains, the highest flyer, so to speak. He has a complete overview of what's going on in his surroundings and the countryside here in the Alps.
Bruno is equipped with a GPS transponder which shows his precise location.
He's trying to face into the wind the whole time to take off. That's normal, he wants to fly.
Tibetan and local musicians provide the soundtrack to Nomi Baumgartel and Paul Klima's project. Their aim is to create extraordinary photographic art and also to produce a high-tech film with drones and 360-degree cameras.
Start nach eigenem Ermessen.
The eagle takes to the skies. Above the Zugspitz Plateau, little is left of the Schneeferner Glacier. Nomi Baumgartel hopes her pictures will jolt people out of their complacency.
These Alps are amazing, but they're facing so many vast changes because of the glacier melt, change that will happen very fast.
Gut, ich gehe wieder rüber. Bleibt's bitte von mir weg jetzt dann.
For Bruno's next flight, he's equipped with a camera harness. With this custom-made device, the Golden Eagle will bring back film and stills from his next flight.
Start!
The westerly is blowing harder. Bruno is soon lost from sight, followed by jackdaws. He lands somewhere on the mountain face beneath the Zugspitze peak. But Paul Klima isn't worried.
Bruno's getting a bit of sun right now. He's touched down briefly. Now let's see if he can pick up a thermal or has to go with the downdraft.
Losing altitude is all part of the game plan.
He's supposed to lead us. He's supposed to show us how beautiful the world is and how important it is to take care of it.
No eagle likes to fight a downdraft, so Paul Klima has a long trek ahead of him.
As soon as we're in sight of each other, he'll be able to fly over to me.
In fact, Paul Klima won't see Bruno until the next day, over in Austria. It's easy to understand why it'll take 4 years to complete this project, which charts the disappearance of the alpine glaciers to dramatic effect.
Let's move back to Africa. In Togo, there are also people working to clean up the environment, and they're doing so by other means. Residents in the capital, Lome, for example, have teamed up to tackle their city's garbage problem. They have established what they call a smart city to collect waste and recycle it. And you know what? The young entrepreneurs are taking their ideas into schools. So recycling is now a topic in lesson plans.
It's a special day at this school in Lome. Architect and businessman Sename Kofi Agbojino has come to tell the pupils what they can do to help the environment. It's the first time he's presented his ideas in a school. This sketch shows how young people can contribute towards the development of their city. Sename Kofi has proof his ideas can work. He's brought in a 3D printer made from electrical junk. It's called upcycling, transforming trash into new functional products. His project's explained online.
Our program teaches young people and children about 3D printing technology. It's the technology of the future, and it will be them using it. I like this project because it helps us to learn how to build a printer ourselves, and we're learning a lot about computers.
Lome, with 2 million inhabitants, is the capital of Togo, but it's far from a high-tech city. But that is changing. And much of that change starts here with Sename Kofi. His workshop is full of old hard drives, monitors and computers. This group of Togolese techies build new affordable devices from the e-waste, including drives, printers and new computers. Breathing new life into e-waste is a project that occupies many people at WO Lab, a centre founded by Sename Kofi a few years ago.
Our idea is called Ubcité. The people themselves invest, and with the help of technology, they improve their environment.
A second project is underway next door. These activists want to get the waste situation in their neighbourhood under control. Residents call them when they've got a full bag of plastic waste. They're planning to digitalise this process. These 3 employees are looking for the caller's residence so they can collect the trash. Piles of plastic often end up at the side of the street, but now the environmental activists are winning over more and more of the residents.
Thanks to this project, we've started collecting our plastic waste. You'll often see plastic waste all over the street. So this helps keep our neighborhood clean. You can already see the difference. I'm very grateful for the initiative.
So far, most of the money has come from Seneme Coffee's own pocket. He's still looking for private investors. Trash is sorted back at the centre. Old plastic bags are transformed into sacks. They hope to spread their new way of thinking through the city.
Once we've reached this goal, we will create another lab 2 kilometers from here that's also trying to change the area, 1 kilometer around it, always based on recycling trash.
Seneme Coffee Agbogino is sure he can motivate the people of Lome to bring about real change.
Have you ever heard the term upcycling? I think it'd be a great idea for Nigeria. Cool idea to take old materials and make new high-quality products out of them. Now it's all the rage in Europe right now.
That's right. The online merchant Upcycling Deluxe is based in Berlin, Germany. They specialize in these products. For example, on their website, retailers and other customers can find ceiling lights made out of recycled oil drums. You're right there. Or shoulder bags made from cement sacks. Upcycle reuses materials from waste, and the process takes less energy than the traditional recycling. Now, what they do is they're showing us how to rethink throw-it-away attitudes. Take a look.
For some people, this is just trash. But for Giuseppe Gimilaro, old bicycle tires are a valuable commodity. After all, he makes his living from them. He turns tires into belts. He gave the first one to a friend for Christmas. Back then, he was still living in Italy.
In 2010, I moved to Germany, and I tried to find a job like as bike mechanic in a shop, but I couldn't because I didn't have an Ausbildung, and I was not like my German was not great at that time, and then many friends say me just keep going with the tire belts, and I did.
In the past, each belt was unique. Nowadays, Giuseppe also creates small production runs. Competition is still fierce. His belts are already being copied in China and Australia. Today, the entrepreneur can make up to 30 belts a day with special tools he designed himself to ensure quality standards. The belts have become a brand item, thanks in part to help from Upcycling Deluxe. Within 5 years, the Berlin startup has become the biggest online shop for upcycled products in Europe. Giuseppe's tire belts are popular, and that's good for everyone. During the festive season, the company's employees are busy preparing wares to be sold to customers throughout Germany. The online shop also supplies customers around the world.
In the final run-up to Christmas, things really go mad because people are busy buying last-minute presents.
It's not always easy to keep an overview of the 2,000 or so items on offer and ensure that all the ordered goods arrive on time. Many products have a long way to go just to get to the company's warehouse in Berlin. These bags were made by a women's cooperative in Manila. The lamps were made from old oil drums and come from Senegal.
They're by Sally Wayne. I met her at a trade fair and immediately fell in love with the lamps. She's from Senegal herself and works with a project there. She designs the lamps, and since I became one of her customers, they've been going like hotcakes.
But it's not easy getting products from emerging and developing countries certified so that they can be sold throughout the world. Upcycling Deluxe also designs its own products like these hats manufactured from old coffee sacks and fabric remnants in Poland. They're looking to expand their own design range, Here the challenge is creating brand identity.
There's big demand for the products at the moment, and we're currently in the process of setting up an international distribution network, and we need our own brand for that.
Business-to-business sales are becoming increasingly important for the fledgling company. Thanks to growing environmental awareness, products like their coffee-to-go hats are being ordered by specialist shops throughout the world. Business is booming. 2016 has been their best year ever. Once the Christmas hustle and bustle is over, it'll be time for Upcycling Deluxe to head to Paris for Fashion Week.
Lake Chad in Central Africa is almost gone. The freshwater body, which borders the Sahara Desert and supplies water to Chad, Nigeria, Niger, and Cameroon, has shrunk by 95% over the last 50 years. According to the United Nations Environment Programme, climate change is responsible for about half of the shrinkage. But what does the loss mean for the millions of people who rely on the Lake Chad for survival? Here's our report.
Early morning on Lake Chad. Musa Adam, like his father and grandfather before him, earns a living as a fisherman. For centuries, the lake's waters have been a rich source of food and water for the people living on its shores. 10 years ago, a catch as little as this would have been thrown back, but not anymore. Fish are now so scarce that every single one, however tiny, will be shared out in the village.
We give each person one fish, but the problem is what happens when there are no fish. No fish means no food and no jobs.
From the air, the fisherman's problem is clear to see. What was once one of the world's largest lakes is now a patchwork of weeds, ponds, and islands. Images from space show how a huge body of water 50 years ago is now just a 20th of that size. A combination of recurrent droughts and temperatures of up to 50 degrees Celsius is the root of the problem. The lake is now just 7 meters at its deepest. And land that was once fertile has turned dusty and barren. For communities living on the lake's edge, the effects are devastating.
At first, we didn't know anything about malnutrition. But now there are huge numbers of malnourished people. The children are all malnourished. There are no more fish, there's no more milk, no maize, vegetables or cereal.
At the nearby clinic, there's further evidence of the problem. Weighing just 7 kilos, 5-year-old Fatima is less than half the weight of a healthy child her age.
When Fatima came here, she didn't speak. She was always lying down with empty eyes. Now she's asking for water and food, asking to wash her or to dress her. So now we've got hope.
Where food is being grown, it's in irrigated fields. But overuse of water is also contributing to the lake's shrinking size. At its current rate of decline, the lake could be gone within 20 years. There has even been talk of diverting the region's rivers to refill it. Official figures show that more than 20 million people depend on these waters.
If there are solutions, we must find them. For every problem, there is a solution. The lake is in the process of disappearing, and the lake feeds many people, not just here, but also for people in other countries living near the lake, like Nigeria, Cameroon, and Niger.
Local community groups, meanwhile, are trying to halt the erosion by planting trees along its shores.
I was born here, I grew up here, and I want the lake to come back, not just for me, but for the children of the future. To stop the Sahara, we must put in extra effort. Every day and every night we must work.
Reforestation programs are slow, and Lake Chad is drying up fast. So far, no alternative solution can be found. Villagers' determination at least offers hope to the communities who call this region their home.
This wraps it up for today's show. If you have any stories to tell or pictures to post on environmental issues, don't hesitate to hit our social media sites. Details on those come up at the end of the show. For now, it's time to say bye-bye from Lagos, Nigeria.
Thanks for watching Eco at Africa, a European and Pan-African magazine. Bye-bye from Nairobi, Kenya. See you next week with new exciting videos.